Ready? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Bull Session, the podcast here. Buck Russell in front of the computer. Marcus Cross across from me.
What is going on?
Yeah, that was a bad joke. Anyways, how are you, sir?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there, living the dream. Been a rough week for me, rough week for a lot of people. As you know, we were off last couple weeks.
I too.
And, well, I don't like ever bringing up bad news, but this is something that we do have to talk about today.
Well, in 3 weeks, I'm sure there'll be another one. So
yeah,
we gotta start talking about this one.
Yeah, the terrible school shooting in Parkland, Florida. All of us here,
the only country that this ever happens in.
Yeah, all of us at Bull Session, give our thoughts and everything to those people who are grieving. But I think something good has come out of this, honestly. Because have you ever? I mean, literally, think about it. We live in a time where kids are eating Tide Pods as a challenge. Okay, I mean, there's it's like what were they thinking? Then you have this terrible, horrible tragedy that I don't think any of us could even think about living through. What we would do if it happened to us.
The worst thing.
The thing that's more commonplace in this country.
The worst thing I think we ever had to worry about. I mean, if we ever heard of somebody bringing like a knife to school, we'd be like, oh my God, really?
Yeah.
A gun? We never even heard about that.
Yeah.
And after Columbine, and this is what a lot of the parents have been saying, they said after Columbine happened, it should have never happened again. And then it happens like every then it was happening months. After Columbine. I think it was like every couple years.
Yeah, a couple years.
Now it's every couple weeks.
Yeah.
It literally is every
there's
2
been,
or 3 months.
Right
there's
after,
a huge, massive school
literally shooting. Right after this one, there were threats in just south of here in Plattsmouth.
Okay.
There's been threats all over the country, and this is what I think it is kids think this is cool because. I don't think some kids see this a certain way. They don't see it to where it's a danger. It is something to where you can lose your life for this. I think some kids are calling in the things just to get the day off school. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of two things. I think it's a combination of both those things. I think it's a combination of our society and just kind of how everything's out in the open and there's no personal privacy. Everything's on Facebook. Everything's on Twitter. I mean, if some kid did something stupid in school, the whole school knows about it. Even the people that he doesn't know or she,
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's all on social media. It's like, did you hear what Tammy did? Did you hear what Timmy did? It's everywhere, and I think that disturbs kids.
My wife and I were actually talking about that.
They would freak out. I mean, I had a hard enough time. I think we all did when you go through adolescence and stuff, when you go through high school. Everybody kind of has a hard time dealing with it, but to actually have like all your private shit out on social media, I think that drives kids nuts.
Well, not only that is you got to think I was bullied when I was a kid.
I think we all were to an extent,
But I was bullied pretty bad. But we got home from school, and that was our safe place.
Exactly.
Now you've got no safe place because Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that shit.
And I think they thought, not to interrupt you, but I think they thought that was their safe place at first. And now everything's on there. So it's like, that's my safe place to go home and talk privately with such and such. Well, now this person I don't even know sees this entire conversation, and we're like, wait a minute. I don't even know. So now all my shit that I've been talking to my best friend about is all out in the open.
People are videotaping you sneeze and someone records it. And I was like, oh, this is funny. Look, someone sneezed and fucking blood shot out of their nose or something. It's like, here's a great idea. Why don't you do something else and sit there and play on your goddamn phone? Literally, if you get a chance, it's going to be attached to this. Check out my blog this week. I'm sick and tired of hearing this stuff. I'm sick and tired of because it's happened here. Something similar to this has happened twice in Omaha where we were at. It's happened at Von Mar. It happened at Westroads Mall.
Westroads was a big
one. That was a big one. Then it happened where we went to high school.
Yeah, it did. Well, he killed a teacher.
He killed the teacher.
Yeah.
He killed the principal. I don't know if he killed anyone else.
I thought 2 people were killed in it. Did he kill himself?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about this kid.
Yeah.
This kid didn't even go to school. He was graduated.
Yeah, he had graduated, yeah.
Okay, so he goes back, and he basically put a blog, or did something on YouTube, saying he wanted to be a professional school shooter.
Is that what he said?
That right there should have been number one. Yeah. Number two, he's 19 years old, takes an Uber to the school.
Yeah, I heard that.
All right,
and then
you figure the bags or something when they give the Uber driver a little bit of concern.
Well,
anyways, he goes in and goes into the freshman building. I believe, if I remember the article correctly, goes into the freshman building and just starts opening fire.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a high school coach, or a football coach, that put himself in the line
in front of kids.
Yeah. A true hero right there.
Yeah, yeah.
There was someone else that did the same thing too. There was
one of the teachers that
an ROTC kid did as well. And
okay.
And I'll give this props to Trump on this one. He said that the kid should be buried with full military honors.
Yeah,
and I agree with that because the kid was a hero for
definitely.
Doing
that. Well, another teacher put herself like in front of the door or something like that when they were shooting. I mean that's another thing. I know we're going to get into what Orange Hitler said about it, but I think we need to, before we get into that, I think that's the other thing. It's like these teachers have enough problems of their own,
right?
Teaching these kids. Now we're going to give them guns.
Yeah, these teachers do not have enough money.
Fuck no, they don't.
Not just to teach the kids. They have no budgets. The budgets are constantly being slapped.
I would think it would be so difficult being a teacher in high school.
Oh yeah,
in this day and age, I would think it'd be so tough. I honestly
wish we could get our good friend Matt Beat on the program today, just because of that. Because he is a high school teacher.
Because he is one. Yeah,
he's a high school teacher.
Yeah. And the last time when we were talking to him and he was on, he actually had, I thought, in my opinion, a little bit more optimistic view of just the kids and their phones and stuff like that. Because, I mean, you and I were basically like, oh, God, help us. This is the generation of these kids are going to be, the future. And look at them. They all don't, they can't even spell correct sentence. And he was kind of more optimistic just because he'd been around them more. Yeah. And the people in his class, he was saying, well, I see, kind of saying in so many words, I see where you guys are coming from, but I'm seeing, So he actually is seeing, I think, just a little bit as far as more optimistic view of the generation that's going to be graduating and starting to put forth and contribute to society. So
and speaking of that,
these kids, I can't believe what they've done. I think it's so fucking cool.
And I'll read this from APR, our favorite place to read.
Really have stood up.
Last week,
marching and everything.
Yeah, last week, one of the worst mass shootings in modern history left 17 people dead at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. This week, students at the school started exercising their voices as part of the #NeverAgain movement. As on Monday, dozens staged a lie-in front of the White House in solemn protest. On Tuesday, students gathered in Florida State Capitol to press for stricter gun laws, but as the servers watched in the gallery, state representatives declined to consider a ban on assault weapons and large-capacity ammunition magazines. High school students across the country walked out of class throughout the week. Now, speaking of that, I think it was either Papillion Vista or Papillion Vista South, which is a suburb of Omaha.
Yeah.
One of the towns in the area. They did a walkout, and what did the principal do? He's like, all right, let's go, come on.
Yeah.
You know, that shows solidarity. That shows that he believes that, we should not have these shootings. I'm with the student. He's like, how can I discipline the students when they're doing something we want them to do?
We want them to do, yeah.
We want them to stand up for what they believe is right.
Yeah, he got behind them.
He got behind all of them. He's like, I think they gave him like 30 minutes or something, or an hour, and then anyone that was 30 minutes late from this rally or whatnot got double detention.
Okay.
So they're like, hey, we're letting you do this, but if you ain't come back, you're going to get in trouble.
Right.
So, and I can see that. I'm 100% behind that.
And they were probably, that was the other thing too, is they were probably like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to get, some of the students were probably like, I guess I'm going to get detention when I come back, because what we are doing is not supposed to be, but it is our right to exercise this.
You're going to get these kids that want to,
but
that want to say, hey, this needs to stop. And then you've got the other kids, and unfortunately, those kids have the kids that just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'd rather get out of school.
I honestly think,
and I think probably 90%.
I think it's probably a high volume
very high
of kids
I agree.
that do give a shit and actually want these laws to change.
Right.
The one thing I think that I was just so surprised at is just how quickly it happened as far as just them being so. I mean, this David Hogg, that's his name, that's been on a lot of the news outlets lately talking about this kid. He's a senior there. He was interviewed. He has been just everywhere on social media talking about this Never Again movement and wanting it to, and it's crazy just how, of course, Ted Nugent and all them think it's an act and he's an actor and it's not real.
In fact,
it's fake.
In
fake news.
Yeah, in my blog,
it's pretty awesome what they're doing, and it is real.
There was a secretary for a Florida state senator said that, there are kids that came in that weren't part of there was a picture taken. It was like, these kids weren't in the school. They weren't part of the school. They're not part of the school when this happened. Well, it turns around that CNN interviewed the two kids that were in school, that were in the picture, that were in the school.
Yeah.
This guy was subsequently fired.
Yeah.
You have the conservative pundits that are like, this is just a shot for the Democrats to get your guns.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this here, right here and now on this podcast, and I don't give a shit if no one listens to it. I'm saying it out loud. In fact, there's an article that is on my computer right now, which I need to find, about how fucking dumbass Trump wants to sit there and say, they're going to take away your Second Amendment. All right, this is how you take away an amendment. You have to have another amendment to take away an amendment.
Right.
The last time that happened was the 21st Amendment took away the 18th Amendment, which was for prohibition.
Okay, for prohibition, yeah.
There has been no other anything that's and first off, it has to go to Congress. Congress has to pass it.
Yeah.
And then it has to go from Congress, it has to go to the president. Then the president has to sign it, and then it goes to the state legislatures to ratify it.
That's what you get when you don't know our own fucking U.S. Constitution or
there
any
is
fucking laws or anything.
There are people... There are people...
You don't know the own fucking country that you've been living in for the last 71 years.
The true gun idiots that are like, they're going to take away our guns and our ammunition and everything, and they don't listen to that. There are sensible gun owners.
Yes, there is.
Democrat, Republican, old, young, doesn't matter. They're like, do we really need assault rifles? Do we need...
Cops are saying this. Right. Military is saying this. Yes. Right. Why the fuck is that legal? Yeah. I mean, they're all saying that.
One of the reasons, and I think I believe I'm correct here, and if I'm wrong, please email us bullsession@kmsimedia.com. I believe that the reason why they upped the drinking age in the 70s or 80s,
it was in the
from
80s.
18 to 21,
because it used to be 18,
right?
Yeah.
From 18 to 21. Was because still at 18, you're still dealing with a lot of shit.
Yeah, you are.
And 21, 21 sucks when you get there. But you know what? You're a little bit older. You're a little bit wiser. Yeah, you're still an idiot because you just want to get fucking drunk out of your asses.
But you're not dealing with... not a teenager.
Right. Now, it is legal to buy a rifle at 18. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go buy a rifle now because they're going to get... No. 21 years old, I think, is... pertinent to get that. All right.
Well, that's the thing they said that they couldn't believe. You can't go buy a fucking beer, but you can go buy a gun.
Yeah. I don't understand that.
And I was talking to a guy at work the other day. Well, we were talking about the whole Second Amendment and stuff like that. And he says, I get so mad at the people that say, they're going to take away the Second Amendment. And he's like, we need the right to bear arms. And he's like, I agree with you. We do need the Second Amendment. So here's your right. You have the right to bear a musket. Because that was what was around when this was fucking made.
And the actual text of the amendment says it is the right of the people to have a regulated well-armed militia to stop from something or other. And it says for the people to bear arms. Honestly, if you want to bear arms, you want to have a gun, that's your call.
Yeah,
I don't want one. You know what? If you're responsible, that's fine. But do you really need an M1? You can't get an M1. That's a terrible example. But do you need something that's going to, pop off
what was the one
15
he used? An AR-15?
He's an AR-15, which is a semi-automatic
rifle.
Which semi-automatics are not illegal. They shoot, I believe, 3 to 5 shots at a time, which is fine. And
that was kind of one of the things that the kids were bringing up too, is that they said that they would read the Second Amendment in the Constitution. They would read that and they would say, "How is this regulated? How is this him having this gun? How is that regulated?" And it's not. Our fucking forefathers are rolling over in their fucking graves.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was never intended to be what it is because you had big money, big assholes. The NRA came in, and I'm not talking about the members of the NRA. I'm talking about the people who run the fucking NRA. Came in and had, you know what? We see a huge fucking gold mine here. We keep scaring people. We keep telling people. Well, then the companies that we support are going to buy more of our shit, and we're going to make more fucking money. And that's what it is. It really is. It's just greedy
We're going to get to
businesses.
the NRA on that in just a minute. But
that's all it is. It's not them giving a shit about it.
Political Action Conference, of course, freaking dumbass Trump goes there, and he says that, I quote...
CPAC?
He says, and I quote, this is from Jessica Taylor at NPR, I quote, he said, "They'll take away your Second Amendment," Trump claimed to Democrats, "which we will never allow that," unquote. Trump then asked the crowd if they would rather have their Second Amendment rights or the tax cuts the Republican recently passed. The deafening applause overwhelmed came down on the side of gun rights. And so it's like, okay, you know what? You can take all our money, but don't take our guns.
Don't take our guns.
You can tax the fuck out of us.
But they don't want that either, because once you start bringing that up, they get all pissed off. But I think that's just so goddamn funny. It's like, what the fuck?
He wants to arm the teachers.
Yeah.
And he says, quote, "Only the people that are adept at using firearms," and to give them a bonus for that.
Yeah, and give them a bonus.
Where are they going to get this money from? The schools don't have any money.
Here's the other. There's that. That's problem one. Then there's the other problem of, here's all the things that can happen. A gun could discharge, freak people out. Somebody could also pull out another gun, start fucking shooting. I mean, this could turn into, instead of 17 people dying, 50 fucking people dying. This could turn into a goddamn bloodbath. Yeah. But the other thing is, what if somebody brought this up to us the other day? What if somebody gets all pissed off at a fucking student and decides to pull out, the teacher decides to pull out their gun and pop off a few rounds inside. Sit the fuck down, asshole. I mean, what are we turning into? This is what it's turning into. When he says, "No, that's not what I said. I said people who were inept to handling guns," or whatever.
And then the people he was talking to were school shooting survivors, which...
you think they want to hear this?
Yeah. And if you went around and goes, how many people want teachers to be armed? And who are the people that were holding up their hands? Were not students.
Right.
The student would you rather have something else? And they're like, they raise their hands.
None of the students. I don't think any of the students or any of the teachers have said they think this is a good idea.
No.
All of the kids have just been like, oh my God, no. Even the sheriff of that Broward County in Florida said the same thing. He goes, it is not appropriate for them to be giving teachers guns. He doesn't want this to fucking happen either. He's a fucking cop.
Yeah. Come on. And then Trump is going to turn it around because the FBI had information on this kid. Okay. From somebody saw the thing on YouTube.
This is his way to blame the FBI and how they're
from Amy Held on
FBI is
NPR,
all liberal now.
The FBI missed signals of the Florida school shooting because of the Russia probe. Okay, so the FBI is...
So turn it in around yourself.
Right. The FBI is solely focused. That is their only job.
Yeah.
The FBI.
They don't do any other thing.
They're not doing anything else.
They're allowing drugs to cut drugs and everything and aliens like the X-Files. They're not doing anything. Yeah. They're just concentrating on Russia and Trump.
President Trump spent the weekend at his Mar-a-Lago resort tweeting, of course, about the Russian investigation after a federal grand jury indicted 13 Russians and 3 Russian companies in connection with the prosecutors described as a covert Russian campaign to help Trump win the presidency. Trump repeatedly asserted his campaign didn't collude with anyone to win the 2016 election, but his reference to the Wednesday massacre at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in a bid to prop up his no collusion case stood out. Quote, he said, very sad the FBI missed all this many signals sent out by the Florida school shooting. This is not acceptable. They are spending too much time. I'm starting to sound like Bernie Trump or Bernie Sanders. I got to stop. They're spending too much time trying to prove the Russian collusion with the Trump campaign. There's no collusion. Get back to the basics and makes us all proud. You don't like the FBI. You hate the FBI. You want to get rid of the FBI.
Well, the reason why, I mean, can I just say this, not to get off topic with the guns and stuff, but how bad is he at looking guilty? Holy fuck. Well,
he's trying to turn this around. He's trying to turn around the kids. And then there's also people that are trying that are sitting there attacking the kids.
Collusion in every fucking conversation you have with the guy. It's like, dude, okay, we get it. Yes, you colluded with the Russians. We get it. They're going to find out about it real soon, and you're going to be in a lot of fucking trouble because you clearly did this. Because it's like me saying it's like me getting done robbing a bank, and then me being around our friends, and we're like, "Hey, did you see that game? Hey, I didn't rob that bank." What? We were talking about the football game that's on right now. Yeah, but I didn't rob that bank. What bank? What are you talking about? I mean, he's like so guilty. He brings it up every flipping time he's interviewed about something, and he turns it into no collusion, no collusion, no collusion. It's like, okay, dude, you couldn't be more fucking guilty. You don't look, I mean, you look so guilty right now because you continue to bring this up all the time. And now he's turning a fucking massacre, a school massacre, all about himself again. I cannot believe, oh my God.
Well, here's another thing too, is we also know that there was a resource officer that was on site. What?
My phone.
Resource officer on site that basically froze.
Oh, well, the one guy, he wasn't even there, I heard. He didn't even go to the school.
No, he was on campus.
A sheriff's deputy or whatever.
He was on campus and did not go. And
he was armed and everything, and he didn't even go in.
He didn't go in. I think he was on another side of the campus or something.
Okay.
But he has now resigned.
Yeah.
He is no longer a member of that.
And then they were saying, oh, well, he had been really good in the past or something like that. Well, how many other school shootings?
And here's the one thing too, is the one thing that I did like about the sheriff of Broward County is that he gave like no excuse for the guy.
Yeah.
You know, because maybe in some other instances, someone would be like, well, he did this. No, he's like, should have been there.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
And you could say, I'm like, wow, this is a guy that's actually, he's telling the truth. He's wasn't there, should have been.
Yeah, we got no excuse about that.
He didn't make any excuses, which is cool. However, the NRA decided to cheap in on this. At the annual CPAC convention in Maryland.
I saw part of that.
Oh, God.
It was really interesting.
And this is from
some of the most intelligent people were
Jessica
speaking.
Taylor once again.
She's fake news.
NRA Executive Vice President and CEO Wayne LaPierre,
yes,
said, and I quote,
as Stephen Colbert put, who is a old grandma wearing a grandpa suit. Because that's what he looks like. He looks like an old woman.
He defended the Second Amendment and warned of a socialist agenda, which I still don't know what that is.
Well, I don't understand how that could play
intended to strip firearms away from law-abiding citizens. He said, I quote, as usual, the opportunists wasted not 1 second to exploit tragedy for political gain. Aiding her, LaPierre said, adding the 20th century community nice Saul Alinsky, whoever that is, would be proud that at the breakneck speed of gun control laws and the breathless national media eager to smear the NRA. Then, now wait, it gets even better.
Doesn't that stand for nuts, rednecks, and assholes?
Pretty much. NRA national spokesman Dana Loesch also spoke.
Oh, yeah, she is a prize.
And she said this, and I quote, and this just makes me sick. Many in legacy media love mass shootings.
Yep.
You guys love it. I'm not saying that you love the tragedy, but I'm saying that you love the ratings. Crying white mothers are ratings gold to you, and may the legacy media in the back.
And why don't we talk about all the guns that you guys have that you love scaring the shit out of people so that big companies that you support buy those guns so you make more money off of horrible shootings like this. Hello, pot. Hello, kettle.
Yeah.
What a fucking bunch of hypocrites.
Ted Cruz spoke up, and he just basically ate his own freaking shoes there.
His hair.
But
he like to eat hair?
He loved to eat hair. However, there is one good thing is there's a lot of companies that are cutting ties with the NRA.
Yeah,
and I'm loving this.
That's from the kids. Yeah. Seriously, that's from the kids.
And one of them right here, First National Bank of Omaha.
Big ones. Delta Airlines is another one. United.
Let's see.
A bunch of airlines had. United had two, I want to say.
Delta, United, First National Bank of Omaha. It will not renew its contract with the NRA to issue the NRA Visa card. And it says, this is what it said on their Twitter feed. And this
I'm on that, by the way.
Tweeter?
No, on the NRAs, I follow them.
First National Bank of Omaha got the ball rolling on Thursday when it announced via tweet that it will, quote, will not renew its contract with the NRA to issue the NRA Visa card. It was responding to a tweet saying, please end your relationship with the NRA, hashtag NRA blood on your hands. The bank said customer feedback spurred it to renew its relationship. Cimatech, which is a big antivirus, MetLife, they do life insurance. Alamo Rent-A-Car.
Well, the thing...
Enterprise Rent-A-Car,
dude,
National
these are
Car
all
Rental,
not.
Hertz.
These are all not small companies or small advertisers.
No.
These are
First
big
National Bank
people.
of Omaha is one of the larger banks in the country.
These are big companies.
Those are all big.
This isn't some
Delta,
mom
United,
and pop small
business.
These are big companies dropping these guys.
Wyndham Worldwide, that's a huge hotel chain. Literally, they're just, they're breaking off from there.
Yeah.
And it's just, it makes me sick sometimes.
What about the Wellesley Arms Hotel?
The Wellesley Arms Hotel, the Continental. Of course,
I'm really surprised, though. Aren't you a little? I'm really surprised that that this one has done it. Has been the straw that's broken the can. So I'm really, we
get
surprised.
to shooting number over 700
7 million, and now all of a sudden people decide to give a shit. And
I think these kids, honestly, now it's become a way of life because the first one we were still doing an old show of ours.
It was 99 or 98.
It was in the late 90s, 98 or 99.
It's 8 or 9.
That was really the
that
big
was the one where everybody was just like jaw dropped, holy shit, kids brought in guns, they
and
fucking
then
killed
school shootings,
people.
Yeah, right.
It was nuts.
And then we've had other shootings
But then it was like that, like the parents of this one had said, why didn't you do something? 9/11. Some of the parents were pointing out 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
And you guys started making sure you bumped up security at airports. The guy tried to bring in a bomb in his fucking shoe. Well, now we have to take off our shoes when put them through the thing. You guys took precautions to prevent these things from ever happening again. Wow. You've never, ever done anything to prevent school fucking massacres from happening again. We just keep having them. It's just like, this is a part of the U.S. life? This is a part of our way of life now? Is just, we have a school. Oh, by the way, if you're going to live in this country, we have a school shooting about every 3 months. Hopefully your kid won't be at the school when it happens, but this is just part of our life now. We haven't done anything about it.
I'm trying to find this. I saw it on Facebook. I'd really like to find it. And it says Muslim shooter, oh my God, ban him coming in the country. Black shooter, oh my God, they're horrible. We need to arrest every single one of them. And then it's
it's always a white.
It's Mexicans, and they're like, we need to build a wall. Yeah. And then it says white shooter. Well, there's nothing we could have done.
Yeah, nothing we could have done. And that's what it all is. Yeah. It's like 98% of them are white males, usually young, usually probably teens. 20s, 30s, all doing these fucking huge fucking massacres, where they grab just a bunch of guns and they just fucking unload. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. I don't get it. And I think mental illness does play a big role. I think it's a combination of both of those things. Yeah. I think that is a big role, but we don't do anything about that either. We don't do any. Half the kids in these schools are on fucking Zoloft or Xanax or something. Yeah. It's like, I think that's another problem. We give mental health medicines he hasn't been concentrating in school, doctor. Okay, well, I'm going to put him on Xanax. Yeah. Why? You know how many times I didn't want to fucking concentrate in school? Yeah. That doesn't mean anything.
I was diagnosed with ADD when I was 20.
Exactly. So we throw a bunch of pills at him?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, my God.
This was the flow chart I wanted. I'm glad I found it. It says, what should we do? And the first one says, was the murder Muslim? It says, yes, and you go to travel plans. It said, no, and it goes, was the murder Hispanic? the answer is yes, you need to build a wall. The answer is no, you go, was the murderer black? And then if the answer was yes to that, then you have more cops in prisons. It says no. He goes, was the murderer white? And it says yes, and it says thoughts and prayers. So you see where it comes from, I mean, literally, that is a great picture, a great flowchart of what people are thinking right now. Because honestly, everybody's throwing around thoughts and prayers for this. Which, granted, do it, go ahead. But you know what? These kids don't need thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
They need something that they're going to stand behind. Not saying that thoughts and prayers are not a bad thing. Or
no,
a good
but
thing.
What does that do?
What does that do? It doesn't do anything because what they do
does
is,
something for you to ease your mind.
To ease your mind,
but it doesn't do anything to help them.
These kids need support in so many more ways than that.
And do you honestly,
I'm really
whether
hoping
we believe, whether viewers or whoever, and we can have our opinions on God or whatever, whether you believe in God or not, do you honestly think God is up there going, yes, don't do anything, just pray to me?
Yeah. No.
No, God is going, you guys need to fucking do something. Quit talking to fucking me and do something. And it's, as cheesy as that may sound, they want action. They want action.
And
this is ridiculous.
And I'm loving seeing these kids, and it gives me a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, if this would have happened maybe a month ago, because you literally had kids that are freaking, on their phones all the time, recording them masturbating or something and eating Tide Pods. Now this happens, and all of a sudden the kids are like, well, "This needs to stop."
Taping cats to their nuts.
Right. It's like
putting it on YouTube.
Now it's like these kids basically they're like, "We've had enough. We're done."
And
you know what? Maybe the kids and. I've had theories on why kids are why they are now, and but it just seems like now some of the kids are getting smarter.
Well,
and they need to come up and rise up and say, yes, we've had enough. It's the kids are our future, and I'm starting to get. If you would have asked me a month ago if our future looked good, I would have said fuck no.
Yeah.
But now I'm getting a little bit of. I'm like, you know what? I don't think it's going to be that bad.
I'm a little bit more optimistic.
I'm more optimistic, absolutely.
And I get, and a switch got flipped. I think this thing.
I totally agree with you.
Just triggered something, and I think it did just in these kids that it happened to. But what really blew me away is what some of them were saying, like on Twitter and stuff, because most of them are on Twitter and all that stuff in high school, and. One girl, her name was Jennifer something. It was like Jennifer S. or something like that. She tweeted, she was one of the survivors, and she was interviewed on a couple talk shows that they had, and she says she freaked out. You can probably find it. She goes, the president put in the thoughts and prayers or whatever, and she goes, I don't fucking care. Like, she typed it out. Like, I don't fucking care about your goddamn thoughts and prayers or something. I mean, she was literally pissed off. And this wasn't, she goes, that's all well and good, Mr. President, but you can take your fucking thoughts and prayers or whatever. It was like, we want action, like pounding her fist. We want action. We want something done about this so that it doesn't ever happen again. Like, they were literally angry that they all had to bear this horrific incident in their life and their friends' lives. And the one kid that was sitting there fucking bawling in the White House, that was horrible to watch, about his best friend that was murdered in the school.
Yeah, and it was like it was, I think I saw that. I didn't see the whole thing, but
he appeared on another show with his dad. Like
today's my birthday.
After,
he's like, today's my birthday. I'm not going to be able to spend it with my best friend.
Yeah. And he was sitting next to a mom that was there who was from, I think, maybe Sandy Hook or another school shooting. And he just, just watching these people, your heart just breaks, because it's just like, can you imagine us living through something like this and just going, and we wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you move on with your life?
Well, here's the one thing too, is that we should
You'd have nightmares and shit about this. I mean,
we should not have to
almost like PTSD.
Yeah. We sit there. We should not have to sit there and mention these horrific events by saying Columbine, Sandy Hook, Parkland, Millard South.
Right.
We should not have to do that. Like we're saying, hey, you remember Return of the Jedi?
Right, exactly. Like
we should not have to do that. Yes. Like we're talking about a movie. And that's the one thing that I cannot fucking stand is that in all the government, all the officials are like, well, no, there is no, well, there should be action.
It is too soon to be talking about action, Will. They say that after every one, and then 4 weeks later, another one happens, and it's huge. Yeah. And it's bigger, That's the other thing, too. The biggest mass shooting in history or whatever, the biggest mass shooting in a school in history, it always gets topped, And that's the other thing that's really scary. I don't even know how many people were killed at Columbine.
No, I don't know.
But it was horrible. But it's like another one comes... And then it's like, oh, this is the biggest mass shooting of little children at an elementary school. And this is the biggest mass shooting at a college when the one for Virginia Tech happened.
Virginia Tech, yeah.
And it's
I remember that. I was in college. I was on the radio the next day.
And that, I think he killed like 33 people with
Columbine
guns.
Was April 20th, 1999.
Oh, it was 99, okay.
15... And that was including both
of the two students who committed suicide.
24 injured. Well, here's the funny thing, too, is that this kid, after he's done and everybody's running out, what does he do? He leaves.
Yeah, he was sneaky.
He snuck out. You know what he did after that? This is the one thing that pisses me off the most. He went to Walmart, and he went to Subway in the Walmart, and he got a soda.
I wonder if he was taken on WalmartPeople.com if he was photographed in there.
He was caught by Parkland police.
Yeah.
And then they said that he was like distressed breathing and all this, and I was like, yeah, because maybe he didn't think he was going to get caught.
I think it was more almost like the reality set in of just what you did, because I think somebody in that frame of mind, how evil and fucked up it is. I think somebody in that frame of mind is completely on another realm. And you go do that.
Sandy Hook was 12 kids.
12 kids.
Or 20, excuse me, 20.
Jesus. And then you go do that, and then all of a sudden reality sets in. Because have you seen him in like the court and stuff? He's like all hunched over and just not even looking up. Because I think the reality set in, oh my God, I have just killed fucking 17 people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, and now I'm going to be in prison for the rest of my fucking life.
And I hate to have this list in front of me because it makes me, I literally want to puke right now. The Las Vegas shooting is the deadliest shooting.
50?
That was 59.
59.
The Pulse Orlando nightclub shooting was 50, and that was in 2016. Virginia Tech was 33. Sandy Hook
how many was the Pulse?
50.
That was 50 also?
50.
Holy shit.
Virginia Tech was 33. Sandy Hook was 28.
28 at that kid's school?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Sutherland Springs Church was 27.
I remember that one. Wasn't that Daryl Root or whatever, that kid?
I believe you're right.
Stillman Douglas. The Black Church, right?
Yep. Stillman Douglas was 17, and this is terrible. In the top 10, he's the only one that didn't kill himself.
Commit suicide.
Or get killed.
That other guy didn't either. He's in prison, too. The one that shot up that church. He didn't kill himself.
I believe that was Aurora, wasn't it?
No, that's the one. Oh, no, he's still alive, too.
Yeah,
that's the one that shot everybody at the Dark Knight movie.
Oh, that's
right.
In
Aurora, Colorado. Yeah.
That's right.
And I think that was maybe 12 or 13 killed.
The University of Texas Tower shooting was 18, but that was 1966, and that is in the number 8 spot. I need to turn this off because it's making me sick.
That's, and it's just like something should have been done. That's what I mean. Something should have been done after the first massive one. But no, we want to try to top this, It's so fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it is. We need to get onto something a little bit better. This is a shorter version of the program. This one is only 1 hour long today. We are at about the 38-minute mark, and since I don't want to take a break, let's just keep going, because if we stop, we might also get started again, because we're both kind of like have an upset stomach after talking about all that stuff. So let's just hit the box office. Let's go straight into it. We'll talk about something a little bit better. God.
Like what great movie was in the number 15 spot?
The number 15 spot is Samson this week.
What is that?
I don't know. $950,000, probably about Samson and Goliath or something. God only knows.
Oh, yes. We talked about this one of the times.
It was down from the 11th spot. It's made $3.7 million in 2 weeks. Number 14 is Winchester from Lionsgate Films, $975,000.
That's the horror movie with Helen Mirren.
That one has made $23.8 million. I seen a lot of drops in screens on these ones too. Big time drops.
Well, the Oscars, aren't the Oscars tonight?
No, they're next week.
Oh, they're next week. Okay.
Number 13, you said this was a really good movie, The Shape of Water from Fox Searchlight.
Oh, yeah, that's up for Best Picture, too.
$55.3 million.
I heard they made it for $19 million.
It does not say here on my screen.
On IMDb showed it for $19 million.
This one has made $110 million worldwide. It's about $55 million domestically, $55 million foreign. So
yeah, it's a great film.
Guillermo del Toro did it.
Great movie. Yep.
You said it was really, really good.
I hope I hope it gets it. I know it's nominated for Best Picture, but there's a lot of nominations for Best Picture.
Yeah. Number 12 movie down from number 10 was The Post from Fox.
I'd like to see that. I heard it's
$1.2 million.
Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep
is
Steven
in that.
Spielberg.
It is about.
It's about the whole
Watergate.
No, it's not about Watergate. I think it's about the whole Nixon thing when they went to Vietnam and how the Washington Post covered.
Oh, it was the Vietnam. Our friend Mr. Beat just did something about this. The Pentagon Papers.
Oh yes, yeah,
that's about the Pentagon Papers.
Yeah.
This is how they were released.
Yep. I'd like to see it. I've heard it's really good. Yeah.
It has made $78 million domestically. Worldwide, it's made $136 million. I think this one's up for Best Picture too, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, I think there's like 7 or 8 nominations for Best Picture.
I'm getting the award breakdown here. Loading up. It's loading a little slowly, so we'll move along while that loads. Number 11. This one is also up for Best Picture. I know 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Everybody tells me
this
it's
movie
awesome.
has been going literally up and down in the.
Yeah.
In it,
it keeps kind of hanging in there. It's out on Blu-ray.
$1.2 million has made $50 million. That's not a lot, but it's been on the.
But I guarantee they didn't make it more than for like $15 million.
16 weeks this movie's been on the countdown, and it's at the number 11 spot.
Yeah.
You know, and that's amazing.
It came out, I want to say, in like October. It's been out for a long time. So, and everybody that I've told, a couple people were telling me that they just recently saw it, and they thought it was just fantastic. They said it's very unpredictable.
Yeah. The Post has been nominated for Best Picture. Dunkirk, Get Out, The Post, Shape of Water, Darkest Hour, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, and Call Me by Your Name.
Okay.
Are the
that Call Me by Your Name's down at the new Dundee Film Streams.
Really?
Yep, I think they're bringing it, or maybe it's not there yet. Maybe they're bringing it in this Friday.
Number 10 is Early Man from Lionsgate, $1.7 million. I don't know what that's about.
I don't either. No, I think it's animated. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's animation.
1.7 in 2 weeks has made $6.7 million. A new movie on the countdown this week, number 9, Every Day, by Orion Pictures, which I think Orion is owned by Sony now, I think.
Okay. I haven't heard Orion in a long time.
No,
I remember their old little logo though from the 80s.
Yeah, it was the Orion star or constellation, and then it would come, and then it would
like
circle,
spin, and then it would go,
and then would go Orion,
be like a little. Yep.
And I unfortunately do not know what this movie is.
What
about.
is it?
I'm sorry.
What's the movie?
Every Day.
Oh, Every Day. Okay.
There must be another movie named Every Day because it says Every Day 2018.
Okay.
So it is a drama of some type. It's PG-13.
Starring?
Who's
in it?
It doesn't say here.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't say real well here. So
Stephen Baldwin.
The number 8 movie, you never know. Number 8 movie down for number 6 is The Greatest Showman from Fox. Is the movie by P.T. Barnum, $3.4 million.
That's probably doing really well, isn't it?
$160.7 million in 10 weeks. It was made for $84 million, so it's busted its budget.
Well,
definitely. Yeah. I wonder how it's done overseas.
Advertisement and all that.
$200 million overseas. It's made $361 million.
Yeah, it's doing really good then.
All in all, yeah, it's done very, very well. Number 7 this week is the 1517 to Paris by Warner Brothers. That is directed by Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, where the real people play.
Yeah, the real people are like revisiting.
Have not heard good things about this movie.
$3.6 million. It's made $32 million on a $30 million budget.
Yeah, I heard it's. Yeah, I mean, I heard my parents liked it, but I have heard from a lot of people that it was bad.
It's made $12 million overseas. The 4 numbers are bad.
But I've heard that it's bad from a lot of people. I heard the acting's not very good. Obviously, it's because it's not by actors.
You're using the real people that did. Now, what they did was a great thing, and they stopped it.
And the other thing, too, is I heard that the whole Paris thing, when they take over the train and they do this, is maybe 10, 15 minutes of the movie. They said the majority of the movie is them meeting in college and actually showing how they all got together and became friends.
So basically, you're seeing the best parts of the movie in the trailer.
And like I said, I haven't seen it, so I can't judge it. But I have not heard good things from anybody on this.
Number 6 movie, Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle.
That movie's like making a freaking killing.
It is doing extremely well. It's done $5.65 million in 10 weeks. Take a guess how much?
It's got to be over $300 million.
$387 million on a $90 million budget.
Yeah, that movie's
it's insane.
And how much is the overseas? Probably even more.
$532 million. It's close to $1 billion. It's a little over $919 million.
I cannot believe that movie's almost $1 billion.
And I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, I have too.
It's not that I've heard
really
bad.
Funny,
it's
and
really
I heard
funny.
It's tons of action.
A lot of people were like worried because the Robert Williams one.
When I saw previews for it, I was like, this looks really cheesy and stupid.
Yeah,
I just thought it looked dumb.
You're doing a Jumanji video game, and everybody gets sucked in the video game, and they're doing that. And I was like, okay, but you've got a pretty good cast. You've got The Rock, who doesn't do bad in the muscle-bound comedy movies, with the exception of Baywatch, which I heard was just a train wreck.
Yeah, I never saw it.
Jack Black, who is good when he when he wants to be funny and good. He is very funny and very good.
Kevin Hart's really good.
Kevin Hart is very, very funny, and Karen Gillan is
she's been in
gorgeous.
A lot of stuff lately.
She has been in a lot of stuff.
Well, the Guardians
as
both the Guardians
Gamora.
movies. No, not Gamora.
Not Gamora.
She's not Gamora.
She's
her
Nebula.
sister.
Nebula.
Yeah, Nebula.
She was in Doctor Who for a while. That's where she got her big start.
I
was
heard
on
that. She was in that movie with Tom Hanks also.
The Circle.
The Circle,
yeah. And so she's had a very good career, and so I can see that. And then
so you
I guess the storyline.
Yeah, they basically took a lot of promising actors and they put them in a good,
in a good
thing. And they all, what I've heard from it also, they all have really good chemistry with each other. Yeah. So it's all like it flows. It really flows good.
Well. Yeah, and you got to have that, especially in a movie like that with a group. You got to have a good flow.
Yeah.
The number 5 movie this week is 50 Shades Freed.
You saw this?
6.9. No, but my wife did. And she after a thought when she went there,
she's like, "Oh my god, I could never watch one of those movies." I'm like, "Thank God."
My wife read all the books. She read all the books.
Oh yeah.
It's not like we tried doing anything that was in the books or anything like that.
See, I have heard the books are absolutely terrible. Like as far as the written quality to them.
Well, what's funny is Bill Maher the other day mentioned something about it when 50 Shades Freed
I saw it.
came out. They're like, and he goes, "You have people like the Me Too movement and all this," and he goes, "And the number 1 movie is some guy tying up some chick." I mean, something along those lines. But I mean, literally, 6.9 million. It's made $89 million in 3 weeks on a budget of $55 million.
I think this is the last one too.
It is. This is
the book series,
and it's made. Wow, that's surprising. The foreign numbers are $230 million.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
So that.
I mean, you take a big book like that, it's a bestseller, and you make a movie, people are going to see it. This is the 3rd sequel,
right.
So.
My wife said when she went there, she's like, "Yeah, the movie was okay," and she's like, "But then I came to realize I never saw the second one," and I was like, "Yeah, because they were terrible."
Well, I heard the second one's terrible.
I have no.
I haven't heard good things about it. I mean, and I'm not talking from guys' point of views. I've heard this from people who have read the books, like the books. They said the movies were bad.
No, I've heard that too. Yeah. But, so I don't know on that one.
Whatever. Yeah. Different strokes for different folks. Literally.
Yeah. Number 4, new one on the countdown. This one surprised me as low as it is. Annihilation from Paramount, $11 million.
It made
the first week, $11 million in the first week.
I've heard this movie's awesome. It's
the critics
really
are saying this movie is really, really good, and Natalie Portman is it's Natalie Portman, right?
Yep.
It's in this movie.
And Oscar Isaac's in it. I think somebody
played Poe Dameron in the Star Wars movies.
He's in tons of stuff.
He was also in Ex Machina.
Yes, it's from the director of Ex Machina.
Yeah, and Ex Machina. I have.
That's
to admit,
a good movie, but it's.
I was not feeling. We saw it on. It was on Amazon Prime. It was a free movie.
It's a good movie, but I saw about 2/3 how it ended.
I saw about 2/3 of the movie, and then I fell asleep, and I woke up and I saw the ending.
Yeah.
And so I know I missed something in the middle of there, but what I saw was really, really cool.
It's a well-done movie.
Domhnall Gleeson is in that, too.
He's in lots of stuff. And he's becoming like his dad.
Yeah. What's the chick's name that plays that? It's Alicia something.
Oh, she's playing Lara Croft in Tomb Raider.
Yes.
Alicia Vikander or
something,
Vikander.
Yeah. She was in that movie, and I'm actually... Well, see, here's the one thing with video game movies too is like, how good is this one going to be?
Yeah.
Not that the first one was stellar.
What?
The first one
was fucking amazing.
The first one was okay. The second one was not good.
The second one was stupid.
It was dumb.
The first one wasn't very good either.
It wasn't good, but it had Angelina Jolie bouncing around with them big old ass titty fingers. And it actually had some comedic and actually had some value. Yeah, I mean,
there was some. It was okay.
It wasn't for a video game movie. It wasn't
like a great movie that it wasn't. I can't wait to watch Tomb Raider again. It's so good.
No, I mean literally, it was Angelina Jolie.
Guys just went to see it to see Angelina Jolie running around, but.
And so I'm wondering how this
girl is actually at least British, I believe. I think she's Swedish or English.
And this one it's a reboot. They're rebooting the franchise using the reboot video game. So it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. To me,
isn't it just called Tomb Raider?
It's just called Tomb Raider.
Okay.
Yeah. And that movie comes out in May sometime.
No, it's March. I think it's the end of March. I think it comes out in like 3 or 4 weeks.
The number 3 movie down a spot is Peter Rabbit from Sony, $12.5 million.
How do you pronounce his name? Domhnall Gleeson?
Domhnall Gleeson.
Yeah, he's in that too.
Really?
So is Rose Byrne.
Well, he really is going to be like his father. If you don't know who we're talking about, his father is
Brendan Gleeson.
Brendan Gleeson, who is in like every goddamn movie. Just like
Irish actor. Yeah, he's in every freaking movie.
What's his name? William Fichtner.
Yeah, and I don't see William Fichtner in movies now.
That's because Brendan Gleeson took over. William Fichtner, he's like in every damn movie. I mean, literally, he's got a bit part in every damn movie. He was in the last one
he was in it.
The last movie I remember seeing him in is Dark Knight.
He was in Dark Knight. He was in Perfect Storm. He was in Elysium. He was in... and the list goes on.
And the list goes on. Peter Rabbit is the animated adaptation of the Beatrix Potter movies. It's made $12.5 million in 3 weeks. It's made $71.3 million.
Oh, this wasn't the opening weekend for it?
No, this was not.
Okay.
It's been 3 weeks.
$50 million budget. I didn't know it'd been out.
I didn't know how you could do a $50 million budget on an animated
CGI'd
film.
rabbits.
Yeah, CGI'd rabbits. Number 2, this one...
Isn't there a director's cut of it where the rabbits get caught jerking each other off, playing sloppy biscuits?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really...
You really went there.
Really fucked up.
That's terrible.
That was done by Quentin Tarantino's version.
Number 2, a new one is Game Night. Speaking of sloppy biscuits, it's Game Night from Warner Brothers.
Funny.
It looks funny, but to me, I'm like, this kind of looks.
It's probably paid, but yeah.
$16.6 million on a budget of $37 million.
And that's the one with Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman and the dude that plays in Friday Night Lights is in it too.
Oh,
do you know what
the main character? I know from the show.
He played the coach in the show.
Yeah. I know who he is. I just can't think of his name.
He was in Wolf of Wall Street and. He's been in movies. I mean, but for him to do this is kind of funny because he's not usually in comedies.
And of course, the number 1 movie, take a wild guess.
Oh, it's Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Again. Yeah.
Made $108 million on its second week on the charts.
That movie's going to just
It has made
records.
$400 million in 2 weeks.
Holy shit. That's just the U.S. numbers.
That's the U.S. numbers. Now, if we go overseas... It's made $304 million. So in 2 weeks, this movie has made over $700 million.
This movie's probably going to make like $2 billion.
This will probably.
Well, it's going to be over $1 billion worldwide here soon.
It's going to be over $1 billion, literally.
So after worldwide, and by the time it's done, I bet you it's over $2 billion.
And I actually saw this movie on Friday. This movie is unbelievable.
I heard it's awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah. It is really, really good. You can see where. And I'm not trying to bring up like bad topics, but I can see where like a lot of positive things are being said in the black community about this film.
Okay.
Just because it shows a strong black leader.
And it's like his family too.
Right.
Isn't like his brothers and sisters are all like
his
involved
family and his tribe and everything. And
his tribe.
The most technologically advanced nation on the planet being run by a black man.
Yeah.
And you have females as his guards.
Yeah.
You don't see anything like this at all.
But
this is based on
they're all not like cardboard cutouts either.
Absolutely
they're
not.
all like badasses themselves.
They're all
they're character driven. Yeah.
They set up the characters very well.
They're not like the cliche damsel in distress. Have the guy go save them.
No.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is there's 2 white guys in the movie, Andy Serkis and Martin Freeman. Are in it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is I saw a meme this morning and it said
both from the Lord of the Rings.
Both from the Lord of the Rings, and he goes, they're 2 Tolkien white guys in the movie. Get it? Tolkien black guys or white guys in the movie.
Oh, I made that noise. The noise you were going to make.
No, I really wanted the sound effect and I didn't bring it up. But
Two Tolkien white guys. Get it?
Two Tolkien white guys. Get it?
No.
Oh, it didn't go.
That sounded like a fart.
Yeah, that was really lame.
But
it is an amazing, amazing movie. It is it is literally packed with action. Michael B. Jordan is
he a bad guy
good.
in it?
He plays Eric Killmonger, who's the bad guy in
it.
He
is a bad guy.
He plays a great character. Chadwick Boseman.
He's in tons of shit.
He is an unreal actor. He's got to be.
He's a really good actor.
Really one of my favorites right now.
42. He was in Get On Up.
Yeah.
He was in the one with Kevin Costner that I really liked. That Draft Day. He was in that as one of the football players.
He's really good.
And see, I thought he was really good as the Black Panther in Civil War.
Yeah.
So it's like, this will be cool seeing him do a whole.
So now they've literally have set the pace for Infinity War, which is coming out in May, and I cannot absolutely freaking wait for Infinity War.
Yeah,
that is going to be an unreal movie because the pacing of everything, and the one thing that makes these movies great, I think, is because of the casts and everything.
And they've all been working with each other.
They've been working with each other. They make it a piece of art. I mean, literally all of them, to where you have these great characters, and the people behind them really put their all in them, and it's amazing. And so that's the box office for the week as we get off that horrible topic and actually smile as we talk about some movies here.
As we talk about the Tolkien
white guys. There we go. Thank you. You had to help me get that joke back in there. Yeah, there we go.
That was awesome.
So we've got about 4 minutes left. Like I said, this is a shorter version of the program this week. But we want everybody to think, about, let's move in the right direction as a world. With everything.
Whole horrible thing that's happened. I think there's just a thing there's no reason that you can't.
No, there isn't.
There's no reason that you can't own firearms, but still not allow.
There's an episode of Futurama. This actually, I think,
there's a total happy medium in this. There isn't just you're taking away our guns, or we get to own fucking M60s.
Yeah. There's an episode of Futurama that I think kind of settles up what a lot of people think in the NRA, I believe, and it has Professor Farnsworth going to. They're like trying to get involved in politics, okay? And Professor Farnsworth is a mad scientist, and there is an NRA like group, and it's like the National. I can't remember what it is, like National Ray Gun Association is the NRA, the National Ray Gun Association, and he goes. And he asked the guy, and he's like, well, what are you going to do to protect my constitutional rights for doomsday devices? And the guy responds with, we're going to remove those 3-day waiting periods for mad scientists. And he goes, damn right. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, I never leave with my mutated anthrax. And then he pats his pocket, and he goes, for duck hunting. And you look at it like they have a point. It's like, what do you need anthrax to duck hunt for? So
what do you need? What do you need an M60 to shoot birds with?
Yeah.
They must have died from heart failure.
Yeah, it's
not the machine gun you just fired up in the air.
Well, it's always a pleasure to talk with you, my friend, every week as we do. We will probably be cutting back the time of our program a little bit, just because life is starting to get to where, we need to do what we have to do, and we love doing this every week, and we know not a lot of people listen to us.
But for those of you who do, we really
appreciate you very much. And
so, Matt, thank you.
Matt, thank you. Yeah, the one person we have, and we'll get him back on, so then he'll have to listen to himself. So.
There might be one or two more.
There might be a few more. I know one of them's not my father-in-law, so If he's listening, I love you, Steve. I do. But it's, we do this for fun. We do this to educate and inform. So.
And sometimes I think when you have a stressful week, it's kind of nice to vent about all the things you're mad about when what's going on with the world, you know? Or just, what's going on in the country that's upsetting.
Just like Red Green said back in the day, and he goes, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
We are. So that's going to be it for us, gang. We'll catch you next time, whenever that will be. Until then, for the Bull Session podcast, I am Buck Russell.
I'm Marcus Cross.
Well, until we meet again, my friends. Good night.
Peace out.